What's up, YouTube? GW Prepper here again. I am going to be canning raw packed chicken today. Some of the supplies we're going to need is just a little bit of kosher salt, a spatula, some tongs, jar holder, magnetic lid pickup tool, some jars and lids, your funnel. I have already pre-cut the chicken to save you from having to watch that. Just finish that. And you will also need a pressure canner. So, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and heat up our oven to 280 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and throw our jars in. Okay, got our jars in the oven. And we are ready to let them sit for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and just put the chicken in the refrigerator in that canister. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and start loading some jars. Okay, I just put some water on the back burner. I'm going to get it boiling, and then I'm going to back the heat off of it. So I'm going to put the lids and rings in there so they'll be sterilized. Okay, the water was at a boil, and I backed it off to low to medium. And I put one lid and one ring in there just so I can show you how to do this. I'm going to go get the chicken. Be right back. Okay, got the chicken out here. I'm just going to go ahead and start filling it up. I don't know how many jars I'm going to need. This is approximately 9.5 or so pounds of chicken. And we'll just see how far it goes. It always stinks to have to get another jar or two ready if you need to. Alright, at this point, I'm going to grab a spatula. Sorry, I'm having to swap hands. And I am going to go around the inside of this, all the way around, plastic spatula. Make sure there's no air bubbles. And it looks like I will be able to throw a little more chicken in this one. Oops. And I want to stress, after my last video, please leave the right amount of headroom. If you don't, then you're cruising for a bruising. Right now, I can put just a little bit more in there, but we're going to stay right below this bottom line right here. Just a touch more chicken. Alright, at this point, we're going to get us a little bit of salt. I'm using kosher salt. I don't know if anybody's ever seen these little lids, but it's just a little space age plastic or something like that. When you stick it on your bowl, you just push down, and it gets rid of all the air inside. Pretty neat little deal. I've got a whole set of these. You can use them to put over a salad or something, and it'll stay for many days longer in the refrigerator. Alright, this particular situation, we're going to, I use a little less than 1/2 teaspoon. And just put it right on top. Okay, now I'm going to grab the magnetic pickup tool. I don't know if any of you guys have watched the other videos, but this one It's just a magnetic pickup tool that I got from the local hardware store. Actually has, well, I can't turn it with my finger without. Anyways, it's a flashlight also. And it's also telescoping. Like, it obviously doesn't matter for this, but I'm going to reach over here and grab a lid. Actually, we're just going to leave that sitting there for 1 second. And I'm going to wipe the rim of this jar off to make sure that nothing is on that rim to keep it from sealing. Now I will grab the lid, place it on the jar like so, and I got a second set of tongs just so that I would be able to grab the rings out of the water. I know my camera skills suck. I'm a guy, I can only do one thing at a time. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put that ring on there, and we are just going to hand tighten, not crank it down, just hand tighten. I'm doing it with one hand. Alright, we have a jar ready to go in the canner, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these done, and I'll be back in just a minute. I ended up getting 8 pints out of that. It showed to be 10 pounds of chicken in the package, but by the time you cut off the fat and the skin and all that kind of stuff, I think it was somewhat less, but I got 8 pints. My particular canner will hold 10. So if you run into a situation to where you have less product than you have cans, then you need to put these jars, blank jars filled with water, in the center. Now I also want to mention that I put a dash of vinegar in this, and that's probably about a teaspoon, tablespoon, somewhere in there. It wasn't real important to me. I sometimes don't even use it and I haven't seen any difference. But I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on this thing, and I'm going to turn it on high with my particular canner. I'm going to turn it on high, and once it reaches 10 pounds of pressure, then I'll back it off to medium high. Also, the amount of water I put on the inside was exactly 3 quarts to go around the jars, and that's for my particular canner. You'll have to consult your documentation for any of this. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes once I get it going. Our valve in the back has come up, and we're starting to gain some pressure here. As soon as it hits 10 pounds, I'll go ahead and back the temp off. We're now at our 10 pounds of pressure. Reaching back here and turn this down to in between medium and medium high. At this point is where we'll start the time and come back in 75 minutes. See you soon. Okay, we reached our 75-minute mark. I just turned the stove off, and we're going to let this thing depressurize on its own. Back in a bit. Well, it's time to pull some chicken out. Let's look at our results. This thing just pressured down. I probably could have waited a little longer, but wow. Look how it's still bubbling. Amazing. We're going to set these out on a towel, and look at all that broth that's in there. That's straight out of the chicken. Didn't have to put anything in with it. always love the smell of canning chicken. It's got a much different smell than everything else. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to let these sit overnight, and they will pop here in a little bit when they settle down. And from the looks of things, don't look like we have any kind of a malfunction, and I will be able to add this entire batch to my food storage. Appreciate everybody watching. See you next time.